Well, right now you can actually feel like it's about to have a hurricane impact here in Horseshoe Beach. And unfortunately, these poles here, they're tall for a reason, but with estimated storm surge of 15 to 20 feet, storm surge could very well be over my head and on the ceiling above me.
Kayla, how are the conditions at this hour on Dock Street?
Paige, the conditions are pretty bad out here and they're deteriorating pretty quickly. Dock Street is now flooding quickly again and the waves are crashing up on the shore. We're going to try and show you behind us a little bit of the waves. As you can see, they are pretty rough out here. We're going to try and show you. I don't know if you can see, it's very windy and again the waves are coming up pretty rough. Cedar Key fire officials are urging anybody still on the island to evacuate. Now is the time, and we're going to hopefully show you a video from earlier at City Hall. There is fire rescue vehicles sitting there and other vehicles ready to help when they can, but again, those vehicles cannot be out in this wind and floodwaters with the storm surge they're expecting. Driving into town a couple of hours ago, we saw people have their windows and doors boarded up. Yeah, Robert, that's right. I'm currently standing right near where the bridge is to take you into the island here at Cedar Key. Now, we left because we were near Dock Street and it was already flooding pretty bad. Mayor Sue Colson says it is time to go, and she is right. If you are thinking about leaving, you need to evacuate now because the floodwater is already creeping into the island. I think we have a little video to show you of Dock Street. It was underwater already. The waves were hitting the shore pretty rough. And again, even, Mayor Sue Colson says to evacuate. Cedar Key fire rescue officials are saying they will not be able to get to you if you do stay on the island because of this storm surge and the wind. Their vehicles cannot make it back out. So again, we are encouraging you, like they are, to evacuate if you want to. And as I've just been standing out here by the bridge to get into Cedar Key, some people have been leaving, but I've also seen some enter the island as well. And the wind is also picking up out here, as you may be able to tell. And again, I'm live in Cedar Key, Kayla Lewis, TV 20 News.
Kayla, thank you. Yes, the wind and the waves, they are now in Dixie County. Residents are also being encouraged to leave and take shelter if they have not done so already. TV 20's Stuart Baker joins us live from Horseshoe Beach. So, Stuart, what conditions are you seeing there right now?
Well, over the past 30 minutes, things have worsened a good amount. The waves are starting to crash on the western side of the island. And the wind speeds right now are roughly 35-mile-an-hour gusts. That is tropical storm force gust here in Horseshoe Beach on the ground. And the water is starting to rise as well as the storm starts to come in. 15 to 20 foot storm surge is no joke. I mean, I'm looking at a building right now that could easily be swamped as this storm starts to come in. I even checked the pressure in my area right now. We're at 990 millibars. When I got here, we were at 1,000. That's just basically saying that this thing is coming my way. As that pressure starts dropping, that means the closer it's getting.
Well, as we were leaving Live Oak, we saw these long orange tubes, and they're along storefronts, and officials called them tiger dams, and their hope is to keep water out of businesses.
And TV 20's Robert Bradfield is live tonight in Northwest Gainesville. Robert, any change in the weather since you last spoke to us?
Well, the wind really seems to be the most consistent, at least right now. This is good kite flying forecast weather here, but certainly do not want you to be outside in these conditions. So do stay inside. But just in terms of the wind, it's dying down here. But every now and then you do get a gust of wind. It lasts several seconds. It's a little bit calm right now, and then the wind does pick back up. We did see a little bit of drizzle, some rain earlier, but certainly no heavy rainfall where we are at right now.
Emergency management officials say to expect downed trees, flooding, and power outages. Now I'm joined by the Levy County Emergency Management Director, John McDonald. John, how's it been going so far tonight?
It's getting a little crazy. The Gulf's a little angry right now, but yeah, we've got about 58% of our powers out right now. That's across all of our utilities that we have in the county.
Well, right now I am on the front lines. Just a second ago I had a gust of wind over 100 miles per hour. And right now I'm reading pressure in my area right now is 972, meaning that I am very close to the center of this storm, and winds are definitely starting to pick up right here in Cross City. I've seen some power flashes, meaning a lot of power is out over most of Dixie County, and it's only just starting. We're going to have a couple more hours of this until this finally moves on.
And Kayla, how have conditions been there in Bronson really over the last hour? What are you seeing?
Yeah, when I was live out here about an hour ago, it was still pretty rainy and windy, and I would say it slowed down just a little bit, but conditions are still not very favorable out here. Now, I just spoke with the Levy County Emergency Management Director, who tells me across the county there's about 22,000 people without power right now. And again, Levy County did suspend all of their emergency personnel. They will not be on the roads to respond to any calls to help anybody, unfortunately, because these conditions are still not favorable. He also tells me he's been hearing from Cedar Key, and at last check, he heard they've received more than 10 feet of water flooding the island. And again, Cedar Key fire rescue officials told me earlier they suspended their help to get out there, and all power on the island was gone. Now, Levy County Emergency Management Director wants people to know that this water is going to continue to fill the island and probably will not start receding until around 4 or 5 in the morning or later. And again, they're encouraging everybody to continue to stay off the roads and stay safe. Probably overnight, into the morning, just stay safe.
We're checking in now with TV20's Taylor Burr at the Dixie County Emergency Management Center. Taylor, what is the atmosphere like there?
The atmosphere is tense as Hurricane Helene, now a Category 4, has arrived. The winds are strong, the rain is clashing against buildings. Many residents have boarded up their homes and sought evacuation. According to the fire rescue officials at the Emergency Management Center here in Dixie County, about 177 people are sheltering at Dixie County High School. The shelter provides a cot, blanket, 2 hot meals a day. While people are safe, there is a weight of uncertainty.
My heart just pours out to them. I feel bad for all of our coastal communities. They've been through so much the past year with the amount of damage that they've had to their homes, and just the area down there is very tight-knit. So if it hurts one person, it really hurts all of them.
Dixie County fire rescue officials say they haven't gotten any calls about damage, but they expect that to change at daybreak. They also encourage residents to stay indoors even after the storm has passed. Live in Cross City, Taylor Burr, TV20 News.
Following Helene, and now moving to some live coverage. TV20's Misty Webb joins us live at the Operations Center. Misty, are there any updates as of now?
So an official actually just told me that they're school busing people out of Gina, and crews are still headed out to coastal areas to help those who didn't evacuate. The lieutenant with the Dixie County Emergency Services tell me they just recently sent crews out. While being out here, I've actually seen the crews heading out. In addition to coastal areas, they are also sending crews out to Gainesville, but they say their priority is coastal areas.
Just because the huge storm has passed, we're still going to get the storm surge that's still rescinding and moving out. We still have a little bit of the winds that you can kind of hear outside now. The biggest thing is we don't know where the power lines are. We have 92%, I just checked before walking out here, 92% of our county is without power right now.
We turn now to Steinhatchee, where the massive storm surge leveled some businesses and flooded homes and roads. TV20's Alyssa Perry joins us live. Alyssa, what damage have you seen there?
Flooded streets, muddy streets, and knocked down trees could be spotted in Steinhatchee. Many residents have been driving around the town to see what damage Helene brought. Some residents I talked to this morning stayed during the chaos last night. They tell me that this hurricane was worse than Idalia. Patrick Bullen was one of those residents.
9:30 our power went out. We were watching TV and just relaxing. It wasn't too bad out there, but by 10 o'clock it started blowing real hard and trees started falling. And it was very dark, you couldn't see outside. The wind was blowing pretty hard, you couldn't get outside.
Boland had some flooding on his first floor that brought in some mud. The flooding that did come in his house knocked down his refrigerator as well. This is the first time a hurricane has brought flooding into his home, he tells me. He said he is glad nothing else was damaged in his house. Residents in this area could be seen cleaning up the damage that Helene brought. Also, as of right now, residents do not have power. Reporting live in Steinhatchee, Alyssa Perry, TV20 News.
Meteorologist Stuart Baker is in Horseshoe Beach this afternoon. Stuart, what are you seeing out there?
Well, I was here 24 hours ago before the storm even impacted here, and the scene that I'm seeing now, 24 hours later, is completely different. Horseshoe Beach is devastated right now. The wind damage, the storm surge damage is terrible. I'm actually standing right in front of the house that I was in earlier, and that storm surge did verify. I even spoke with emergency management personnel. 15 to 20 feet, you can actually see water damage on top of these buildings that were on stilts. And we actually had to walk into Horseshoe Beach because they were not allowing vehicles unless you're a resident. And walking in, you see things that you just don't expect. You see clothing in trees. You see fish on the road. You see china and cars in the water and boats on land. It's utter devastation here, and my heart breaks for the people here. I can't imagine them trying to pick up the pieces right now. Emergency management officials do have temporary shelters in place in Cross City still, as well as health tents. So I just encourage you, if you are needing medical attention, to go there. Reporting live in Horseshoe Beach, meteorologist Stuart Baker.
Welcome back. Our live weather coverage continues now in Columbia County, where downed trees and power lines have knocked out power to 99% of the county.
And TV 20's Robert Bradfield joins us live at One Lake City property, where the owner has a lot of cleanup work ahead. What do you think?
That's right, David Page. I want to show you what is now the front yard of Raymond and Glenda Kalinga's Lake City home. You can see many of these trees now split into two, just showing the force, really, of Hurricane Helene. I wanted you to take a look here as we do pan over through their property. Many of these tree branches are now littered on their front yard. This is some of the worst damage that we have seen so far in Lake City and Columbia County. I want you to also take a look at these three trees that are really playing dominoes right now. They are all leaning against each other, and the Kalingas say if there is a little bit more wind, these trees will be coming down. They are also part of the 99% of the people here in Columbia County right now that do not have power, and they do not know when power will be restored. They've been living here for 38 years. They've been married for 63, they tell me, and they say right now this is one of their biggest struggles in terms of trying to clean up here. But again, one of many homes that we have seen, at least the front yards, littered with tree debris and other debris here.
Hurricane Helene is finally gone. Now it's time to assess the damage and count the cost. At least 24 people were killed in the storm.
One of those deaths happened in Dixie County in Old Town. TV 20's Alyssa Perry is live. And Alyssa, what damage did Helene leave in Old Town?
Helene made its mark in Old Town here today after one resident passed away after a tree fell on their home. Hurricane Helene was a Category 4 hurricane that caused a big damage. Many residents in Old Town lost power, trees, and even some trampolines. Brian DeMille and his family decided to stay put in Old Town during the hurricane. He tells me after finding out someone died in his small town, he is lucky that his family is safe and sound.
We are a tight-knit community, and we really are. And so anytime there's a loss like that of any kind, it's not just a distant name somewhere. It hits us all pretty close because we knew this was dangerous coming in, and no one really knew what to expect 100%. And when that happens, it does. It hurts for all of us.
DeMille told us that the community will come together during this time, as it's crucial to have a good support system during this tough time. All they can do in this community is clean up the damage from Hurricane Helene and hope that no hurricane is coming anytime soon here. Reporting live in Old Town, Alyssa Perry, TV 20 News.
Well, people are still certainly picking up the pieces after Hurricane Helene ripped through north central Florida last night.
Marion County didn't receive a lot of severe damage. TV 20's Deja Clayton shows us one home, though, that was damaged by a tree.
The homeowners tell me it was around 9 o'clock when they heard a loud noise, and when they came outside, this is what they saw.
Hear a loud crash, solid thump. Realizing the location probably towards the front door, the girls started going out the front door. I'm like, no. Let's go out the back.
Adrienne Reese and Kevin Decker were preparing dinner when this tree branch fell on their home. The family members are in good spirits and say although it's inconvenient, it was expected.
I'm not really sure how long it's going to take. I have contacted the insurance company, like I said. I would like them to get out here to at least inspect it so we can try to get the tree off the roof before the rain.
Decker tells me the roof was just redone a few months ago, so now they have to start that process all over again.
The roof was done
April, the end of April.
Yeah. So we're looking at, I guess, a new roof for a new roof. She didn't like the color of the shingles anyways.
True.
So maybe she'll get a choice this time.
Reese and Decker say they are still without power, but hope it gets restored soon. In Bellevue, Deja Clayton, TV 20 News.